welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Gene Curl, and this is a series I'm doing where I'm reading my journal that I kept while I was a missionary for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And this is episode 41. So if you want to get my whole mission experience, start with episode 1 and watch them all. But I'm going to start off where I left off on the last episode and go from there. Sunday, the 6th of June, 2004. Clear, hot, light wind. Brother K did not show up for correlation this morning. I made the report in PEC and made a special note to see the lady who we met while trying to see Toby V. After PEC, we tried to get John and bring him to church, but he was not home. Elder R taught the gospel principles class. Julie got picked up by Sister H for sacrament. There were 3 baby blessings in sacrament. A few of the testimonies were not gospel based, but at least they did not say anything crazy. At about 1300 we picked up Mike and they went to see Julie P and watched Finding Faith in Christ with her and her husband Clifford. When we got there to their house, they asked if we wanted something to drink. I forgot that it was Fast Sunday and said yes, and we all 3 drank juice. When we took Mike home, we talked for a while, and he told us that he broke up with his non-member girlfriend because he prayed about it and found his answer when he saw a quote from one of the prophets. We had dinner with the F family. After dinner, we went in the living room, and I shared the dinner message on Daniel and the Lion's Den. We were on our way to see if we could catch a few people that were found in the zone tract, and Steve S. stopped us. From the time I first got here, I always talked with him at the little park on Justina Street. I almost wanted to just walk past him, but decided to stop and talk. We talked for an hour and a half. Steve told us that he will go to Alua prison on Tuesday. I asked him what for, so he told us that for selling drugs. He made a deal with the sheriff that if he would walk in on Tuesday, she would help him get a better deal. Steve told us that a few years back, a man had killed some kids, so he went and shot the man in the chest and watched him die. He called the ambulance, but no one came. He told the man not to die, but he did. He held on to his hand until he died. No one had showed up, so he just left him there and walked home. When Steve's daughter was 15, she was raped, and the mother did not tell him until a week later. When Steve heard about it, he went to the home of the man that did it and almost beat him to death and hurt his whole family. He said that he would have killed them all, but he did not want to see them die. He spent 2 years in Alua, and the man that did the rape was arrested and got raped in prison. Another man who raped a 12-year-old girl was hanged to death by another inmate. Steve told us that 2 other murders that he committed, neither of them have ever been solved, one of which he wrapped the man in a sheet and threw him into the ocean after he shot him. He told us that when his brother was at home on his deathbed from cancer, that he almost shot him, but his mother stopped him. We talked with Steve for a long time, and he cried, and we cried with him. I feel sorry for him, and I think that he is basically a good guy who made a lot of very bad decisions in his life. The police does not know a lot of the things that he has done. I don't know if I should tell them or not, but I will likely just keep silent since he is going to jail, and I don't know if he is just talking through his hat or not. While we were talking to Steve, Elder R told Steve that his sister had been raped, and he did not find out until long after the fact, and was mad that no one told him. His sister was a teenager when it happened. Monday, the 7th of June, 2004. Mostly clear, but it rained a few times today. Hot, light wind. Elder R and I went to get our haircut at 10 at Rebecca L's shop. It was kind of weird because the lady that cut our hair massaged our scalp and hands. After the haircut, we took our truck to the tire shop to have the spike taken out of the tire, and then ate lunch while we waited. When we got back, he gave us the spike, and we took it to the office along with the receipt, and I checked for mail. I had 2 packages for my mother. She sent new garments, fruit leathers, and a few other items. On the way back to the pad, I stopped at the Mission food store. We went to One Heart, One Mind, and I bought a CD and a book. The selection is not so great at that store. I really miss going to Deseret Books. We met the assistants to the president at the M family's house to get their old furniture and take it to our pad. We went to the Cayuga library so that Elder R could email. The sisters also came to the email, but only Sister E emailed. Sister C wrote letters home. Elder R and I got back to our pad around 17:30 and moved things around to make room for the furniture and hauled the old stuff out beside the house. When we finished, we only had an hour till night plan, so we ate dinner. Earlier today, we picked up our dinner money from the Yin family. Tuesday, the 8th of June, 2004. Mostly clear, but it rained a few times today. Light wind, hot. This morning, we had to leave halfway through district meeting to go to Kailua to Dr. M's office. There was some difficulty in getting the crown on my tooth, and then when Dr. M went to fill my other tooth, he told me that it will also be a root canal. He got rid of all the decay and put a temporary filling. I could feel it a little bit, but I did not say anything because I did not want to get another shot of numb. I wanted to fill my face sometime today. Dr. M and his new wife took us to lunch. It was originally to celebrate my last visit, but now I have to come back 2 more times. I hope that I don't go off island. I had to ask which side would be the safest to eat with because he worked on both sides. He had me order something that was soft. We got back to Awaialimu just before 1500. We tracked it for 2 hours, and we were not able to teach. At 1800, we went to Brother K's house to teach Rodney and Melissa the second after baptism discussion. While we waited for them, I talked to Brother K, and he told me that the reason the B family has never had us over for dinner instead of giving us money is that they think that I am a nosy elder. I wonder why they thought that. We taught the second after baptism discussion about 15 minutes after we came. Brother K, Elder R, and I all taught. After Rodney and Melissa left, I asked why anyone would think that I am nosy. I was told that it was because I look at all the pictures on the wall and ask too many questions. We were invited to stay for dinner, so we did. After dinner, we came back to the pad to make phone calls and plan for tomorrow. After we closed, I worked a little while on the pad. Wednesday, the 9th of June, 2004. Mostly cloudy. It rained a few times today. Light wind, hot. After devotional, we went to visit a man in Queens Hospital from California named Reginald M. He had a blessing last night, so we just kept him company for a while. By the time we got back to the pad, it was almost 11, because of the time that it took to find a place to park at the hospital, to visit, etc. We had a quick week plan, and after a quick lunch. At 1300, we went to the Habitat House to help out, and we were there for about 3.5 hours. When we came back to the pad, we hauled all of our junk out to the street for the large waste pickup. I started to have some pretty bad tooth pain, so I stayed down for an hour. After an hour, it still hurt, but I decided to leave the pad anyway. We followed up on the people that supposedly moved, and after about 20 minutes, my tooth quit hurting. We visited the E family, and they helped us know who had moved, and then I tried to set up a 6-step program with them. They said that they want to, but for me to get back with them on a date. We got back to the pad at 21:30 and had night plan. As soon as we got back to the pad, my tooth started hurting. After night plan, we had dinner. We ate the food that Dr. M gave us for dinner. When I was at his office, another dentist had food for 4 delivered and did not want to take it home, so he gave it to us. It was very good Italian food, so I was glad that we brought it home. Thursday, the 10th of June, 2004. Mostly clear, but it rained once today. Windy and hot. This morning we visited a few older and inactive members until 12 and came home for lunch and to finish our week plan. After lunch we stopped by the park to pick a place to track and saw the F family and talked with them for about an hour. We tracked part of Booth Road for about an hour and a half, but did not teach anyone. We followed up on some of the people we had met a long time ago, and we worked on our moved list. We ended the day by trying to set a date with active families to do the 6-step program. The 6-step program is a program for them to invite their non-member friends to hear the discussions. When we got home, Elder R talked to John's mother on the phone for about 30 minutes. I found out today that former President Ronald Reagan died a few days ago, but I am not sure what day he died. Friday, the 11th of June, 2004. Mostly clear with light rain, windy and hot. Today was a National Day of Mourning for former President Ronald Reagan. This morning, during personal study, Elder R laid down on the couch and fell asleep. I thought that he was sick, so I did not wake him, but when it was time to go, he did not wake up, so I decided to work on the pad. I fixed some holes and replaced the threshold with one that I made. I had to cut about 1 inch off of the entire length and did not have a saw for wood, so I used a hacksaw. Elder R woke up around 11, so he went and picked up our dinner money from the K family. We had lunch at the pad at 12 and then picked up some stuff for John to help him remain smoke-free. We went street contacting but only talked to a few people. We visited a few people and then followed up on the moved list. We picked up Mike T at 17:30 for a team-up and went to see Clayton A. We met Clayton a few days ago and had an appointment for today. He was busy and had to cancel, but set up another appointment. We then went to see inactive families and then went to see John L. and talked with him for a while. While we were walking back to our truck, we saw David P. and he asked if we could take him home. We gave David and Mike a ride home, and then we came back to our pad for night plan and dinner. During night plan, we had a small disagreement on something. I did not want to argue about it, so I let Elder R have his way. He wanted to talk about it, but I did not. I told him that it was best to just agree with him and let it go. I hope that my next companion and all of the rest of my companions has been out a lot less than me, so that he always will be thinking that he knows, so that he's not always thinking that he knows more about the work than I do. Mostly clear, but it rained a few times today. Light wind, hot. We had to go to Kailua this morning so I could see Dr. M at 8. He did the root canal on the tooth. It was not that bad. It was not too bad, but I had some pain during the last of it. On the way back, I stopped at Long's to get my prescription. When we got back to the pad, I studied my scriptures, and the zone leaders came at 10 for area analysis. After area analysis, the zone leaders left, and we had lunch. We went to visit a few people without much visible success, and then we came back to the pad to make phone calls, and I received 4 letters, one from Gretchen J, one from Liz M, and one from Elder Thomas G, my favorite companion, and one from Mom. It made my day, and in fact my week, to get letters. I was especially happy to get Elder G's letter and Gretchen's. Gretchen sent me $5 for my birthday. Most of the people that we tried to see today either was not home or did not want to talk to us. We caught one less active man home who was very friendly with us. We had dinner at the church. The M family were having a birthday party for their 1-year-old son, and there was a game where you would guess how many candies were in the jug. I only put my name down for kicks, but I won because I only guessed 20 or so off. I tried to give the candy to the next closest, but Sister C would not let me, so I took them. Sunday, the 13th of June, 2004. Partly clear, rain, hot with light wind. This morning, Brother K called and invited us to breakfast, so we had breakfast in correlation to his house. We had PEC at the church. Just before Sunday school was over, I had to teach. Auntie Dottie picked up Julie P. After Sunday school, Elder R. and I walked to John's house and walked him to church. The High Council speaker was Brother V, and he gave one of the best talks that I have ever heard any High Counselor give. He spoke on the atonement, and I really felt the Spirit and was touched by his talk. After sacrament, we introduced John to the bishop and to Brother K. We had lunch and personal study at our plan for the day at the pad. After church, we then went to Brother L's and visited him to have a six-step with us. We visited Susan C., the one who her son ran us off yesterday, and gave her her video. We talked for a while, and because she loves to talk so much, we were a little late for dinner. We had dinner with the K family. After dinner, we had my picture taken with him, and then we had family home evening. We did not know what else to do, so we visited Brother P for a little while. Monday, the 14th of June 2004. Clear, hot, light wind. I wrote long letters to Elder Thomas G. and to Gretchen J. and I sent my mother a SpongeBob SquarePants card from a macaroni and cheese box. I worked on the pad most of the time until about 1300, and then we drove to the tabernacle to meet the zone leaders. Elder R and I went with Elder P. Elder S stayed at the mission office to see the mighty Missouri battleship. We paid for the self-guided tour, but when we got to the Missouri, the person working at the gate gave us a free upgrade to a guided tour. Elder B and his family was also on the tour with us. It was a great day, but I got sunburned. On the way to and back from the Missouri, we have to take a trolley over Fort Island Bridge and through the Pearl Harbor Navy base. Elder R and I had dinner with the R family, a non-member family. We talked about the gospel topics for a long time, but did not teach a discussion. They had Elder R eating with his hands. The wife and kids are from Sri Lanka. Mr. R married into the family. He told us that he has a great deal of respect for the people of our church. We were told to call them back, and they would set up a time for us to come back and teach them about our beliefs. We got home at 21:35. Oops. Tuesday, the 15th of June, 2004. Mostly clear, hot, light wind. We were 15 minutes late to district meeting because Elder R took too much time getting ready, as usual. After district meeting, I went with Elder P in his area, and Elder S came to my area with Elder R. Elder P and I went and picked up a team up and then taught a lady named Lois the second discussion. It went well, but she is not sure about baptism. We dropped our team up off and had lunch at Taco Bell. A little later in the day, we taught a lady named Diana and her son named Clanson, the first discussion. We went to visit the assistant ward mission leader. He was not home, but his wife invited us in and told us to teach her brother chemo. It turned out to be one of the most spiritual of the first discussions that I have ever been part of. We visited a lot of the older people and then met a member at the tabernacle, and they gave us a Subway sandwich. They gave us Subways for dinner. We ate dinner at Elder P's pad. We had a personal priesthood interview, and I had Elder P write in my book because he is going home, and I wrote wants another chance, and I won't have another chance. A little later, Elder R and Elder S met us and told us that John L has a baptism date. When Elder R and I got home, I was very upset because Elder S had written graffiti on my wall. I called him up and told him what I thought of him for writing on my wall when I am trying so hard to fix it up. Wednesday, the 16th of June, 2004. It rained pretty hard this morning, but most of the rest of the day it was clear and hot with a light wind. We had to go to Dr. L's office this morning after devotional for Elder R's back. She sent him to have an x-ray, and then we came back to Dr. L's. By the time we finally got home, it was 13:30, so we had lunch and we had week plan. Elder R is a good guy, but sometimes he really irritates me, but I usually don't say anything to him, like today. Today, while we were planning, he wanted to keep going over the same things and not move on. Then when it came time to set goals, he wanted to be a pain, and although we have 4 discussions possible with a member this week, he wanted to set our goal for 1. I told him that if we don't set our goal for what we've got, we show the Lord that we don't have faith, and he won't help us get them. During the companionship inventory, Elder R told me that he does not really like to talk after we close at night. He just likes to read. He asked if I am ever upset and just don't talk about it, so I told him that if I don't have anything to say to improve the situation, then it is better not to say it. We had dinner with the T family, and I had them write in my book. And I had my picture taken with some of the ones that I don't have pictures of yet. The T family told me that since I might be leaving, they wanted to play me some music, so the family played me some Hawaiian music before we left. Sister T gave me a hug, and it was kind of weird, but I did not run because she is old enough to be my mother. We tried to see the K family, but they had company, and Sister K did not look very happy to see us. She never does. So we looked for other people to see. We came home about 15 minutes early for planning. After we closed on time, I worked on the pad. I have a feeling that I might get transferred, so I want to make sure that I finish as much as I can before I leave. Thursday, the 17th of June, 2004. It rained early this morning, but the rest of the day was clear and hot, light wind. This morning, as soon as personal study time was over, I changed into service clothes and went to work painting the bathroom. After about 20 minutes, I spilled paint down the front of my shirt and shorts, but luckily the paint did not get on my garments. I had to quickly change and put those clothes into the water. I painted the entire bathroom, but I'll have to give it another coat later. Service time was cut a little short by a call from the office telling us to visit someone in the hospital, so we had to clean up the painting tools and change. When we got to the hospital, we found out that the lady we were supposed to visit was in the psych ward. My first thought was that we had to go see a crazy person. We had to leave all of our stuff in the lockers outside. When we talked to the lady, she said that the devil is trying hard to get her. She is a member, and her parents put her in there a while ago, a couple of weeks, and she will be released in a few days. She wanted a blessing, so I anointed, and Elder R is still the anointing. When we got to John's, it was a little late, and he was not there. We talked with his parents for a while, and then he showed up. He wanted to go out with his friends, so he told us to come back tomorrow. So we went to the pad to have lunch. After lunch, we went to see Julie P. and talked with Clifford and her for a while. Then we went to visit a few media referrals. One person that Elder B. wrote on the record that he likes to bash happened to be a very nice man. His name is Timothy E., and the first thing that he does is offer us a drink of water. He talked for a while, and then he told us that he would be interested in learning if he had the time. We came home to check the message, and Elder R. wanted to use the restroom. I tried to get him to be fast, but he was not, so we were 15 minutes late for dinner. When Brother A. first saw us, he scolded us for being late. Elder R. told him that he had not used the restroom all day and really had to go, but was too embarrassed to ask to use theirs. So Brother A. told him that he should have held it longer. When I asked if we could share a message, he said, "I guess that you don't know the rules." I said that I did not, so he told me that his house we are never to be late, and we eat and nothing else. He is a member but inactive. Sister A is active, but I felt a little uneasy about the whole deal, and it would be great if Elder R would try to be on time once in a while. We visited the M family for a little while and then went home for plan. Elder R spent so much time in the restroom that we did not have much time to plan. I wanted to work on the pad tonight, but since Elder R used all of our planning time in the restroom, we used some of the free time for planning, and I did not have time. Later tonight, I said something to Elder R about the paint, so he told me to ask permission before I say something to him. So he told me to ask his permission before I say something to him. I told him that it was a dumb idea, and if I had to ask him before I talk, that I won't tell him where we're going or what we're doing. I'll just go and do it. He got upset and wanted to talk about it, but I ignored him. Finally, I told him that I would listen to what he has to say tomorrow. Again, Elder R said that we need to talk about it because he knows that I offend easy and pretend that I am not bothered by it. I told him that I am not offended and that there is nothing for me to talk about, but I'll listen to him tomorrow. When I think about it, I am not completely sure that what I said is the truth, because sometimes I might be offended and just tell myself and others that I am not and let it drop. I think that will be it for this episode. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to comment down below, and I will do my best to answer your questions as soon as I can. With that said, thanks for watching. Please come back for the next episode, and have a great day.